Hello, welcome to our weekly astrological transits. And well, we're coming into that Aries full moon time of year. And before we just get going into the whole horoscope of this next week, the whole transit, the Aries full moon I mean, it started, it's like with the first of the spring, that was the new moon, right? And then it culminates um, projects. So the theme, and then we're going to see this in a lot of things this week. Um, you never usually see something in isolation. They will be, in astrology, it will be reinforced in many different ways. It says the same thing over here and over here and over here. In a birth chart, in a relationship chart, in horror astrology, whatever. It's repeated. The same in the body and healing. You don't just find one indication of a problem, you find many, you know? It's like if you have mold, you're going to find dampness or something somewhere, and that's a leak from something. And, it's like you're going to find a whole bunch of things associated with it, not just the one thing. So, anyway, it's kind of like that with astrology as well. Not kind of, it is. So, the Aries full moon, we're culminating things, but we're also, being that it's Aries and it's lit up, it's lighting our purpose, our self. It's clearing away a lot of the debris that we should have been doing to make way for the new. So it's this energy now to move ahead and move away from things. It's like endings, energy to, it's like the end of the end, the beginning of, the end of the end, however you want to say that. These are like, we are becoming more focused on what we're passionate about. And then that it gets rid of extraneous stuff. The physical activity um, comes in to pare away the extraneous things. We some of these things have been going on for the last several weeks, months. We've talked about a lot of these endings, goodbyes, get rid of, and it's just even more enforced. So while we're moving into this the next few days, it's always invigorating, but it's igniting. It's cardinal energy. It's like, the burst. It could be, we got to be careful of rushing things, um, acting too quickly, too aggressively, but it's also like shit or get off the pot. It's like, if you wait, you'll lose the opportunity. So it's a bit of acting, on impulses in a healthy way. There we go. That's a good way to say it. So Aries is about focusing on getting something going now, right now. I want this done right now. And when you do that, it hyper focuses. You think of nothing else. So that's part of the getting rid of the extraneous things. And I think as you slow it down, this is the time of year, at least, well, it doesn't matter. It's just time to clean out stuff you don't need that's slowing or hindering you down. It's like, do you need those papers? Do you need that old picture or all those old photographs? Do you need those cards? Do you need those, just so much stuff? Do you need all those clothes? Do you need all those books? So a lot of energy is going to be used to get rid of things we don't need. That's kind of a bit about this time, this moon, this time that we're in. Now we're also today, I went back to Monday because there was a couple of things you got to remember you hear. So as yesterday, we had the sun and Mars is square. So we have that Libra um, outward nature. The sun is in that masculine, you're in your outer self, the energy's on that outer projection with the sun and Libra. But it's making deals, it's making connections, it's the back and forth, it's coordinating. And there's Mars there making a square to that in Cancer. So there may be some things. It's like, that hard right hand turn with um, others and relationships in your home life or home or family. Maybe it's like, do I pay attention to my family, or do I, my, you know, family roots or my relationship family, it may be a little bit of that kind of energy, defending yourself as opposed to your family. What about your things? That's what the Aries full moon is going to bring up. We can see all this cardinal sign stuff heating up here. So I'm just cluing you in, okay? And then we also had yesterday, we had the nice Venus um, um, trine Jupiter. No, where is it? What am I thinking? Sun trine Jupiter. There it is. Sun as well. So we had a square Sun, square Mars, and then Sun trine Jupiter. So emphasis on the Sun. So we got some big energy. This is what we're coming into this week. And then, well, we already said the Sun square Mars, and then Venus opposition Uranus. You can see here she's like 2 minutes off, 3 minutes off, but you can see that opposition. So something sudden. So today we're kind of in the aftermath of this. We're coming into things. Venus is just going over that. So that still can be rooting out something from the depth suddenly, or it's like old stuff. Uranus in Taurus there. You might find out that all that stuff that you held secure is not making you secure or happy anymore. All those things are a burden, not um not a blessing, not, or they're done, or maybe their purpose, their usefulness has been served, and you don't need to keep that around anymore. That memory, that thought, that person, that job, that pile of papers, whatever it is, it's all different for everybody. And it might be a sudden realization of that, because Venus there at the end here in Scorpio, it's like, just diving down the rabbit holes, just looking, and, it's like really getting into investigating and finding, the depths of that, getting to the bottom of stuff. Okay, so coming into that today, moon there it is. It's just at the end of Pisces. When did I run this chart? This was in the morning. I want to keep it there because I got the moon lined up, full moon lined up for you. But anyway, it's late in the day. We get the moon moving into Aries of today. Now tomorrow, not a whole lot going on as we're preparing though for the full moon. So we'll just move over there. We just talked about these things. Okay. Venus is, before we get into the whole thing, we have the Venus sextile Pluto. All right, so we had one Venus aspect there Monday, and on Thursday we have the Venus was opposing Uranus. Okay, so we have a Venus outer planet thing going on here. So Venus had to deal with Uranus, sudden things out of the depths, of what she's finding, of what that end of that inward search has been. And now with Pluto there, the ruler of Scorpio, it just, I think, adds maybe validation to what you were feeling, to it's like maybe getting to the bottom of something, rooting something out, and then having that validation, because it's a good conversation there with Pluto. Pluto's, it's like it's co-ruler. I mean, it's Mars's ruler there, but anyway, it's co-ruler, and that gives that some resonance. So Venus is, it's our money, our passions, are what we want, our likes, our interests. So that is being kind of dug up a little bit there. And it's at the end of the sign, it's like right before, she goes into the next sign. Now I had something. Yeah. Okay. I had some. Okay. The Venus opposing Uranus. I had the Taurus and Scorpio, often coinciding with more independence for the one and unexpected attractions and or short-lived encounters for the other. Okay. Because they're both those signs are both financial zodiac signs. Some unexpected financial issues may arise as well, good or bad, depending on the degrees and where it's at. What else I want to tell you? Okay, here's the other thing now. Right after the full moon, the entrance Venus in Sagittarius coincides with a lot of news, maybe about some financial matter or issues, or even about fraud, corruption, or money laundering. Imagine that, right? That those 29 degrees are always critical. Yeah, some truths may come out open and spread quickly. What else here? Breaking up of relationships. There we go. Letting go of those things. Uncovering lies or deception. Some of you may be forced or obligated to gather. What else did I want to show you? It was mainly that. Okay, now here's you probably been looking at it, the sun moon opposition here at 24 Aries. So, the last part of the sign, um, it lines up and it is 7 in the morning, East Coast time, 7:18. Um, yeah. Okay, so what we see happening here, we know earlier the week we had the square of the sun and Mars. And we see now that the sun has moved past that, but the moon just before it is totally full, it will make the square to Mars. So that's just going to kind of reinforce the sun square. Mars is going to sort of be in the bends of these two lights, and it's cardinal, right? So now we've got the moon in Aries, the Mars, they're at least in mutual reception of the square. They would rather be in each other's sign, right? They rule each other's sign. So there is a little bit of a sympathetic resonance here. Remember that. Although the moon can get aggressive and ornery in Aries, but that may, that's what might need to happen. Those feelings might need that push instead of being all, oh, I don't know, that emotional warrior. There we go. So I think this moon is a bit of an emotional warrior, having the moon there in Aries. The sun I'm sorry, the Mars is a little bit weakened there in Cancer. It would rather be in Aries. It's in its fall. It's exalted in Capricorn, so it's kind of weak. So the moon is kind of, or the emotions have to kind of step up to the plate, and it's bravery and emotions. It's courage. This would be the good part of the Aries: bravery, courage, integrity. Moving through something. What wouldn't be good would be careless, brash, aggressive, irrational, and mean. So, as you're going through that, or if you're watching somebody react to you or around, keep that in mind. We want to promote the good side of Aries, Aries moon, Aries emotions. One other good thing about that is as fast as it comes up, it goes away. And it's in a polar opposition to, the sun in Libra, which is relationships. So that could be a big part of things too, balancing those different relationship issues there. So this is a big day, and then we have, it's not all perfect, but then we are also have it's a grand square, because we have Mars and Pluto in the picture. I mean, they're all close enough, and then the moon, as it's moving, it will make, it squares Mars first, and then it opposes the sun, and then it squares Pluto. So we have almost the Mars-Pluto alignment that will be right before the election, the day before, I believe. But then the moon, we're going to foreshadow a little bit, because the moon is going to make aspects to both of those. The moon will hit square to Pluto as it moves out of the sign, before it moves into Taurus. So yeah, this will be pretty dynamic. I would say it's a pretty dynamic day. I would probably plan to not engage and to take on extra stuff if at all possible on this day. It's just it's gnarly. You got a cardinal sign grand, T square, or I mean cross, cardinal cross, with the moon involved, and Chiron, and wounded and healer, and this is just kind of rough. So I would just kind of lay low. I would be extra nice. I wouldn't engage and piss off people. Really, I mean, this is just volatile energy, and it's better just to wait it out. All right. In the aftermath of that Friday, we've got the moon moving into Taurus, so things will settle down a little bit, gets a little more secure feeling. Comfort food might be helpful. Have plenty of chocolate pudding around or something, whatever. Okay, Friday. There's a sun quincunx Uranus. as the sun gets on into the degree. I mean, it starts on Friday and goes more into Saturday, but it's coming in and it's that odd energy. But what's interesting about this, and I think we've talked about this as other planets have moved through this spot. We did with Venus and Mercury when it moved through this spot and it made that same quincunx over to Uranus. They're both ruled by Libra, right? I mean, Venus. When Venus was there, it was its own ruler, and then Mercury's there. But what I'm saying is the sign of Libra is ruled by Venus, and the sign of Taurus is ruled by Venus. So it's got a Venusian overtone to this. Okay. Even though it doesn't have much in common, it has a common ruler. So this quincunx is a little bit different. Whenever we get a quincunx of these two signs, it's always like that. So we've had a few in a row, and there's now the sun is here. And this will be interesting. So we kind of had all that. So Uranian energy, Taurus things, Earth, stock market, finances, security, banking, all of that kind of stuff. All right, so you can see these themes sort of repeating, in different ways here. All right, so that's Friday. Anything else on Friday? That was that. And yeah, we already talked about the Taurus moon. And Saturday, our moon is finishing up in Taurus later in the day. Actually, let me just move on a few hours. When does it do it? Moves into Gemini. Late in the day. There we go. Okay, so we get a Gemini moon coming into Saturday. So the energy, picks up from being a little bit solid there after that whirlwind of the Aries full moon. And we come into the weekend with a little bit more buzzing energy, creativity. Not a whole lot of other things are really going on that haven't gone on already. We see the sun, well, there it's perfected. We see the sun in Uranus, mainly when that sun moves into that degree. Other than that, we've talked about those other things, and let's go into Sunday. So Sunday, now that the sun went from the one quincunx. Oh yeah, we have that weird yod there with the sun, and there it is. The sun over to Neptune now is in that quincunx, but it's not the same one as it was over, of course, to Uranus. So we have the resonance ones to the Uranus, and then we don't as have any resonance to the one to Pisces and Neptune. So this one could be deceptive. I would say, whenever there's to me, a bad aspect or a harsh aspect or a hard aspect, or you want to call it, with Neptune, I always, it's like, my bullshit detector goes off. It's like a klaxon horn. There's just, if something sounds too good to be true, it probably is. If somebody's trying to talk you into something, be advised, look beneath the surface. Don't act on impulse. Check it out. There may be something hidden you don't know. So yeah. Okay. So you're forewarned. And it's not just Sunday. It's now. It's all week. It's coming in. Because the sun. We talked about this as a yod. Okay, a yod is where there are your focal planet, which in this case it's the sun, is making 250-degree aspects to two different planets. That would make these two planets 60 degrees apart. And we could see that they are, right? So Pisces, if it went 27 Pisces to 27 Aries to then 27 or 26 Uranus, right? So they're right there. It's in that yod. Okay. All right. So that's kind of like funneling that energy down over to the sun. So the sun is a little stressed with these, outer planets. Sudden, financial, and then we've got deception, hidden lies. I can't help it. It's just that's like that degree. And then we have Pluto's like last stand. It's still in Capricorn. It's still establishment. It's still authoritarian. Oh, I know what else I was going to say. I had found something that talked about this Neptune, um, the sun, this yod here that I was just talking about, and it's suggests the disappearance or fleeing away of a male person or celebrity or VIP or higher up, um, illness or hospitalization, drowning, leaving, taking resignation, something like that. That's from what's his name, Luke. Who is that guy? I can't remember his name. Anyway, that's one really interesting thing. Robert Hand talks about some of that in his book too. What else was there? There was, oh yeah, the sun to Pluto. You know, the sun is getting to the end of its uh, station here in Libra, will be making that square, to Pluto. And that's basically it's an ending, it's leaving, it's quitting, it's crossing over, it's, moving on from those cardinal energies. So see again, to see how these things are repeated, we've got these things going over and over, um, these different issues in different ways it's like it's the time we're in, it's an ending of certain things. And, again, that Pluto is inches out of Capricorn there. I mean, again, we need good structure. So we don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. We need to salvage the good wood in the old house. The whole thing doesn't get wrecked. Those big beams going across are solid, good. No, it's tight grained, there's no insect holes or anything in it. But the flooring has got to go, or the back porch has got to go, or all those window casings got to go, that kind of stuff. So that's, I feel, how we all need to put that lens on and test the things and keep, again, and this reinforces getting rid of stuff. Keep those things that are valuable, good, sturdy, correct, useful, and get rid of the stuff that's holding you back. Clutter, things you don't need. That's the gift of this Aries full moon here. Okay, coming into Monday before next week, the moon, down here. Oh, let me click ahead. I wanted just a couple hours. It moves into Cancer, into its own sign. And we also have Mercury making a trine. It's going fast, so later in the day and into Tuesday, which we'll pick up, we'll have that trine to Saturn. So I just wanted to mention it because we're coming to the end of the week, and this is really good to use this energy. Mercury being in Scorpio, Scorpio is a smart sign. It will find something, it's fixed. It will go to the depth and get to the bottom of something. So Mercury being there is going to be very investigative. Things that you really need to investigate and dive deep on, you've got the energy and the mental fortitude to do it. This is a good time to focus. It's a focused mind, which is really nice. And then, Saturn being there, watery, this is kind of interesting. It loosens the structure, but I think it widens its possibilities to, with this nice trine here, widens its possibilities for intuition. So as long as we've got a keen mind, not running away with stupid shit, and staying, focused on pulling in truth, I think we can get some good wisdom. Some pearls might be coming through, as we coming into Sunday and Monday. So anyway, I wanted to mention that because I think that's the end cap of this weekend. Maybe go into bed on Sunday night, have a little dream book or something to just remind you to pull in some of those pearls of wisdom that may be coming through for us all. All righty. So good week. Use it well. It's part of a fun roller coaster ride. Keep in a positive space about all of this. It just makes it all better. And, just send love to the planet. We have to make peace with lots of things and realize that we're being pitted against each other and find common ground and overcome it. All right. Till next week. Take care. Bye for now.